Here's a throw by Merton. It is a collision at the plate. And Pierzynski not only bangs into Barrett, bangs onto the plate, and here they go.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into this episode of the Crosstown Baseball Podcast. Very special episode as we're going to be recapping the recent Crosstown Classic taking place on the north side between the White Sox and the Cubs. It was a pretty good series. Well, at least for me, it was. It was good for the White Sox in the end.
It was a good series, and you know, saying as someone whose team lost 2 of the 3 games, when you can look back at a series and think that we could have won every single one of those games, it's a good series. And the Cubs could have also won every single one of those games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun, honestly.
It really was.
My heart couldn't really take, especially the first game in extra innings. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do in the playoffs, Kevin. I was pacing. It was not healthy.
You're like too emotionally invested into this.
Yeah, I need to do a Billy Bean and Moneyball and just like half watch the games or like play 3 seconds on the radio every minute. And
drive out into the middle of nowhere during the games.
It's no, game 1 was, we can go through each game, but yeah, game 1 I think was definitely the most exciting game.
Yeah. Yes.
Obviously wish it ended differently, but we can talk about it.
Yeah, so game 1, the final score of that game was 7-5 Cubs in 10 innings. And it was back and forth all game. Shota Imanaga getting the start for the Cubs, going 6 innings, giving up 2 hits, 3 earned, 3 walks, and 10 strikeouts, getting that no decision. He pitched a gem, unfortunately did not get the win. As I mentioned, it was back and forth all game. Luis Castillo starting that game for the White Sox, newly acquired from the Seattle Mariners. A no decision, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout on the night for him. It was an eventful evening right off the bat as Cubs center fielder, superstar, my hero. I love you, Pete Armstrong. You're the best player ever. He's so good. He's just so good. It's just like, I can't believe how good he is.
It's fun to be watching. I mean, a few months ago, you and I were on this podcast, you know, talking about his struggles, and it's fun to watch him turn into the player that you kind of all hoped he would become. And I will have a longer conversation at the end of the season, but he would be my MVP choice right now. I think with Ohtani not pitching at the moment, and I also think as I know you have talked about and others have talked about, like, voter fatigue is real, and would a lot of these baseball writers take an opportunity to vote for somebody else other than Ohtani? Yeah, I think they would. So
I think they would.
Yeah,
I think they would. I think PCA could win that, honestly, because I think if you take him off the Cubs, they don't make the playoffs. But I think if you take Ohtani off the Dodgers, I think they could still make the playoffs easily.
I would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's what differentiates an MVP, in my opinion. But that's a debate for later on in the season. But yes, Pete Armstrong is amazing. Starts this game off, game 1, with a leadoff homer off of Luis Castillo. Great to see, obviously, as a Cubs fan. Not so great if you're a White Sox fan.
No, and Luis Castillo has been he had 1 good start for us, and the last 2, including this one, have not been let's just say the words James Shields has been thrown around.
Oof. Big game James.
Yeah.
We love big game James around here.
Yeah, especially Fernando Tatis Jr. What did I say? Never mind. Yeah, I want to talk about PCA's walk-off home run for a sec, because
Yeah.
this was a big point of controversy, and I literally have the texting conversation with my dad in the moment it was happening to prove my thought process. I am pretty surprised Will Venable chose to pitch to him in the 10th inning. There was a lefty on the mound. There's a base open. And I understand what Venable is thinking. He doesn't want this rookie to face Suzuki with 2 on, nobody out in the 10th inning. And he likes the lefty-lefty matchup. I just either I would have intentionally walked or I would have tried to pitch around him more. And that didn't happen. And it bit Venable and the White Sox in the butt. And that was disappointing because me and many people thought that was a pretty obvious move that he should have made. But alas,
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
baseball
that's a young manager move right there. I would agree with you. Like I would walk PCA in that situation, and they just didn't, and he made him pay in a big way on that one.
Venable. What let me just be clear in that I think Will Venable is the best manager the White Sox have had since Ozzie. That being said, the bar is not very high there, but
Right.
I think Venable is I have enjoyed watching him manage. That being said, he is definitely a big fan of lefty righty matchups. You see it in his lineup construction every day. Like for me, there should be no reason that Sam Antonacci is not starting every single game in left field. But whenever there's a lefty on the mound, there is a worse player in the lineup just because he's a righty. And this was a perfect example of pitching matchups as well. Like, yes, it was a lefty-lefty matchup, but the lefty at the plate is potentially the National League MVP, who already hit a home run and a couple others, had a really good series overall. Like, yeah, you're right. It's a rookie manager move.
You there? Uh-oh.
So something to keep an eye on, especially if the playoffs are in order, because
Sorry, you're like freezing.
I got you. I'm right here.
Okay. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. We're
Where'd you
having
lose me?
technical. I don't know. You like really froze there for a second.
Well,
So
I froze just like Will Venable froze when he decided not to pitch, or when he decided to pitch to PCA. I'm just saying you were right. It's a rookie manager mistake, and it's something to keep an eye on, if and when the playoffs come up, because I think it could bite us in the butt.
yeah, it could. It could. Definitely a rookie manager move, but it happens. So PCA, the first Cub ever to hit a leadoff and walk-off homer in the same game. Only the 10th time that has ever happened in MLB history. So a pretty rare occurrence there.
I'm
Say it's
actually really surprised it's only 10 times. I just I wouldn't expect it to be a huge number, but 10 is really low.
I mean, think about it. There's been more perfect games than that happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that
So
is
yeah,
crazy.
good for PCA, which
Yeah,
happened against another team though.
when I saw that stat, I was like, that's ridiculous. Seiya Suzuki did hit a home run in the first inning, also worth noting, and right after PCA. So maybe that was playing into Will Venable's thought process too later in the game.
I'm sure that's correct.
Mm-hmm. And the long ball was flying that night as Randall Grichuk continued to destroy right-handed pitching. Or no, left-handed pitching. Left-handed pitching, sorry.
I'm back. You froze too.
I don't know what's going
Tell
on.
I can tell it's my internet going in and out because I'm looking at my little Wi-Fi symbol in the corner and it's shrinking a little bit. So sorry about that. But yeah, Grichuk has been really, really good against left-handers, and Benintendi, for being, the highest paid White Sox player of all time, is having a decent enough season. Honestly, their platoon at DH is one of the highlights. It's a really good platoon right now. Grichuk has also been good at pinch hitting, and then Benintendi hit that big home run as a pinch hitter in game one. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from them right now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So a good game, back and forth. Definitely the best game of the series, I would say. So the Cubs take game one, 7-5 in 10 innings. Jacob Webb getting the win in this game. So good to see his name on the box score again. He's been really like valuable with all the Cubs pitching injuries. Shota Benaga, just a little note, did injure himself in his next start, which was yesterday, I believe. So there's no word yet on his injury status. But I think it was a strained hamstring or something. He did it last year too. So it's possible he might miss some time. So just what the Cubs need, another pitching injury.
Another pitch. Yeah. I mean, listen, when it's a pitching injury, like, and a hamstring's not great, but at least you can say it's not his shoulder, his elbow,
Right.
something arm or shoulder related.
Right. No, for sure. I agree. So we'll see what happens there with Shota. And then game two, Cubs win this one 4-3. Kevin Gossman with the no decision, going 4 1/3, giving up 7 hits, 3 earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He would leave this game early due to a left hand cramp. Um, they showed it on the broadcast, and he like couldn't get his glove off of his hand because his thumb was cramping. Yeah, interesting there. It was a humid day that day, so that probably had something to do with it. Javier Assad, the Swiss Army knife of the Cubs bullpen, comes in 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts for him. He has since been sent down to AAA Iowa. I feel so bad for Javier Assad because he has done everything the Cubs have asked him, and he's done it pretty well for the most part. But they keep sending him down because he has options.
Yeah,
And
that
like
seems to
he
be a
doesn't
thing.
deserve to be in Iowa, and like they need him. So I assume he will be back at some point very, very soon.
Well, rosters are
Um,
about to expand in, the next week too.
that's true. That's true. So we'll see about that. Um, Brian Hudson for the White Sox was the opener in this game, pitched the first inning. And then Eric Fetty came in, got the no decision, 4 2/3, 3 hits, no earned, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Brian Hudson did give up 2 runs in that first inning. Home runs this time to Pete Crow Armstrong and Michael Bush. So not back to back, but 2 home runs in the first inning in this game too, to
Mhm.
start it off for the Cubs. Munetaka Murakami did go yard in this game, and then it got pretty good at the end. Alex Bregman hit a game tying single, and then he also hit a walk off single with 2 outs in the ninth, as the Cubs would go on to win this one 4-3. Obviously, good to see from the Cubs pitching staff stepping in due to an injury. I haven't heard much on Gausman. I think he'll be fine. It doesn't seem like it was anything they're saying is that serious. But we will obviously, see what happens there. Alex Bregman continues to just outperform basically. He was very average at the beginning of this season, and he has really turned it on the past like month or two. So good to see him getting involved with the game tying and game winning singles.
Yeah, when he came to the plate in the ninth, I I kind of just knew it was over. Steve Stone made note of this, and I agree. He is really, really good at when he's up in a clutch situation to just try to poke the ball into the outfield, not trying to swing for the fences. A lot of my issues right now with the Sox offense is they are so bad with runners in scoring position right now because you can just tell they're trying to do something big and dramatic. And Bregman was just able to knock the ball, off the end of the bat and hit it in the outfield and game over. My internet's great today, Kevin. It's great.
Yeah.
It's having a great,
Yeah.
great day today.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
going to try to turn on my hotspot. I'm in my basement, and that's never
Yeah.
been a problem before. But
No.
you,
No, it's all good.
you
We
just
have those
never know.
issues.
You just never know. It's okay. The Sox are also losing 3-0 right now, so I'm having a great time.
Yeah. I'm sure you are.
Yeah. Um,
So, so game two, the Cubs take 4-3. Javier Assad stepping in big. PCA, Michael Bush, both going yard. Alex Bregman walking it off. A good game for the Northsiders, not so good for the Southsiders. But they would get their moments in the sun in game three of this series. So for that, I'll turn it over to Matt since that was the White Sox time to shine.
well, yeah. I mean, and it was a good game. We had another opener, Sean Newcomb, who again I don't love the openers, but then unsung hero of, I mean, one of the biggest is coming through, and now you're back. Did anything I say just come through?
A little bit. Sorry.
Okay, great. Jose Urquidy, hero of the game, 6 innings pitch, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 8 strikeouts. He has now earned his spot in the rotation. So he is actually making his next start as we are recording without an opener. It's not going great. So we'll see what happens after this game tonight against the Rangers. Clay Holmes, decent start as well. Five and a third innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks, only 1 strikeout. Uh, no home runs for either team. Truthfully, I've noticed the Sox are just not the greatest in day games hitting home runs. I don't know what it's about, truthfully. And I think it's kind of tough for every team, it seems like. But we scored on Benintendi single and a Braden Montgomery double. Yeah, really solid game overall. If you're going to lose a series, you kind of always like to win the last game to have good momentum going into the next series. And I should mention, we did take the series against the Mets this past weekend, winning 2 out of 3, including Friday night, back-to-back home runs in the 6th inning. That
Wow.
was incredible. We were down 4-0, and it was Miguel Vargas, Randall Grichuk, and Colson Montgomery hitting back-to-back home runs, and then Jake Rogers hitting a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th. And did you happen to see the video of the girl who caught the ball jumping up and down and losing everything in her purse?
Yes,
Who
I
is
did see
who
that.
is now like a White Sox ambassador? It seems like she's been on like their social media feed, and so it's like, good for you, good for you. I think her name's Emma. Good for you, Emma. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was a decent series. Again, a series Sox probably should have swept, but I'll take 2 or 3 any time. And so I'm happy they won the last game of the Cubs series because I think the momentum was good. But like I said, I think the Sox could have taken all 3 of these games, and the Cubs could have easily come back in game 3 to sweep them as well. So it was a very well played series. Now, this is my serious question for you now, because we've always kind of joked about it, but it's, getting to be the end of August here. Is this potentially a World Series preview?
I can't say no, right? I mean, they're both probably going to be in the playoffs. The Cubs, it'll be very telling what happens against the Brewers. They have 7 games left against the Brewers. I think that will determine the Cubs' fate this season. Are they going to be a potential World Series contender? or are they gonna kind of fall apart in the playoffs again? Um,
Yeah.
because the
I
Brewer, if they can't get past the Brewers at some point, whether it's now or in the playoffs, I mean, it's not going to happen. Um,
Unless you want someone else to take care of the Brewers in the playoffs before the Cubs would face them.
it's possible. It's possible. Could happen. That I mean, that would be the ideal scenario. Milwaukee scares me. Like
I mean,
we don't play well
yes,
against them.
yeah. I mean, and I'll everyone will admit this. Like the Cubs are the better team on paper than the White Sox, but the White Sox, assuming they make the playoffs, I think have an easier path to go deep into the playoffs than the
Oh,
Cubs
oh, easily,
do.
easily.
Because I mean, the best team in the American League is the Rays right now. Um, they're good, but they're not scary.
Hmm.
Um, and we've proven our own against really great teams. So, but the Cubs, yeah, would have to get past the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Braves. It's interesting. So I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. Anything in baseball can happen. Um, but
I would love. I mean, I would
it
love to see
is
it. Don't
kind
get
of
me wrong.
it's
I would
kind
love
of
to see
fun to
it.
think about. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I mean, the Cubs and
I
White
think
Sox are never in the playoffs at the same time anymore. This like rarely happens.
it would be a once in a lifetime opportunity, most likely.
Yeah.
I like worry about the state of this city after even game one or even after both teams clinch. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, we both saw the fight that happened in the Wrigley bleachers uh, against.
I mean, like the city would burn. People would die.
Yeah,
I'm not joking when I say that.
I like don't think. I mean, like, would I like want to go to a game, whether it be at Wrigley or Wrigley Field? Yes, but should I? Should
Yeah.
we? Maybe we would
Right.
be safer at home. I feel like even if you and I got together and watched one of these games, it'd be contentious. Um, but
That is where some friendships would be tested for sure. Some
yeah,
friendships, some marriages would be
yeah.
tested.
So you know what?
Yeah.
Let's hope it becomes a problem
Yeah.
because that would be
Let's
really
hope.
cool. But it's really cool that we are, recording on August 24th of a baseball season, and we are talking about a realistic possibility of that happening. I mean,
I mean,
that's
I definitely didn't expect that when we started this project, that's for sure.
me either. Me either.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but it's going to be an exciting couple months here.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Um,
Yeah.
how'd the Cubs do this weekend against Seattle, Kevin?
They lost 2 out of 3 to Seattle. So not great. However, that game they did win, they won 19-2. So they almost
Too bad that
hit a
doesn't
20
count for more
spot
than one
again.
win.
Yeah, I know. It's too bad. It's too bad. You don't get style points for that in baseball, but yeah, it was not a great series, unfortunately. I feel like teams just don't travel well to Seattle just because it's like so out of the way for like every team. I feel like that's a tough place to go play on the road.
It is. I mean, that's why they've talked about for years, doing another, Northwest team if they ever do expansion, whether it be Portland or Vancouver, something like that, because just to
Hmm.
have somebody else there
Yeah.
would be useful. But so yeah, I love Seattle. I've been there a couple times, and it is a long flight even from Chicago. The great thing about living here is like we're right in the middle of the country, so we're never having to travel like ultra long anywhere in the
Hmm.
in the 48 states. But Seattle is a long flight, so I totally can see why teams would be a little wiped from their travel there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So not great. So coming up for the Cubs this upcoming week, they will go to Arizona to play the Diamondbacks, and then they will return home on Friday for a 3-game set against the Reds before welcoming the Milwaukee Brewers to town next week.
Big
So a
series.
big series. Circle that one, folks, because that's going to be a big series. Season determining, to be honest, for the Cubs. They gotta, I mean, they gotta win as many of those games as possible. I think the division is slowly slipping away. Unfortunately, they've just had too many like random cold streaks in Milwaukee. Like Milwaukee just never gets cold. It's like once they like find their groove for the season, they just they just remain hot all year. I
I
don't know
mean,
how they do it.
they had a small losing streak a couple weeks ago, and I think had like one team meeting, and then they've been
Mhm.
hot ever since. It's incredible. You and I said in our first episode of this podcast, I mean, they are. It doesn't matter how many players they lose in the offseason, like that their manager goes over to the Cubs, like they just find ways to win. And that's crazy. I'm like remembering when we were younger on how awful the Brewers always were. They were never in playoff contention. That CC Sabathia year was like the first year they were ever in playoff contention in our lifetime that at least I
Right.
can remember. And now they're, perennial contenders. And
Some
that,
of these small market teams have like really figured it out. Like, yeah, they
yeah,
don't spend much, but they just like they know how to develop talent. I mean,
yeah.
they
And
they get these random pitching prospects that just turn into like aces.
yeah, it's incredible. And honestly, like as someone who lives so close to Milwaukee and is not a Cubs fan, like I if the White Sox are out of it, like I do root for the Brewers. Like I want to see a team that has never won the World Series or that has not won the World Series in a long time. Like
They've never won it. They never won it.
they've never okay, yeah, they've been in
Yeah.
it. They've never won it. But like, yeah, I do want to see that at some point. And also we've both been to their stadium. Great food. Great food is the key
Yeah.
to our hearts.
It's a great experience. I love going to American Family Field. It's not that
Yeah.
far. Like they have a ton of parking, which is nice. It's legit. So yeah. So it looks like the White Sox, they're hosting the Rangers right now, and then they travel to Minnesota this weekend.
That's going to be a big series as well. The Guardians are 3.5 back of us, in the Central, but the Twins are right behind them. So it's the Sox have led the Central for a while now, but it is not a comfortable lead. So when we went to Detroit and swept the Tigers, that was a really great statement. Would love to do the same in Minnesota. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. So a good Crosstown Classic. It finished the season series was 3-3, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but the Cubs maintained the Crosstown Cup because if that's still a thing, because they won the series last year.
Didn't
So
they retire that? Isn't that
I
like no
think they
longer a thing?
retired it.
That thing
Yeah,
was so stupid.
I know. It's what it is what it is. But yeah,
Yeah.
listen, 3-3 on the year. They both won their home series. You can't ask for much more, right?
You know what their trophy needs to be, Matthew? A giant Italian beef.
I agree. I think if Cubs and Sox fans can get behind anything, it's we hate the Green Bay Packers and we love Italian beef.
Yeah, I do love how Green Bay sucks chants always break out at Cubs White Sox games.
It's
And
pretty great.
shout out to the Cubs for welcoming back Patrick Kane, who is returning to the Blackhawks this fall. I'm a big hockey fan. Um, those three Stanley Cups were a lot of fun for me in the 2010s. So good to see him at Wrigley getting a very rousing standing ovation from the home faithful. And it'll be exciting to see him in a Blackhawks sweater this fall.
Well, and it was
But yeah,
nice to
so
see him in a Blackhawks jersey, and he was not wearing Cubs or socks or anything.
when he threw the first pitch, he was wearing a Cubs jersey.
Oh, well, damn, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. They made sure to dress him appropriately. But yes, good to see him back in Chicago regardless.
Well, it's okay, Kevin. We
Uh,
had the hot ones guy, Sean Evans,
yeah.
yesterday. So
Okay, you know
what
what?
do you
You got
do?
the Pope. You got the Pope, man. Like,
Not enough.
that's not enough? How is that not enough? You got a Pope and a president.
Yeah, I want Patrick Kane too.
Yeah, you just want everybody. It's funny how the White Sox have all these like random, like really famous people as fans, but like so few actual fans.
Ouch. Ouch.
Oh, oh.
Ouch. And actually, that's not a comparison this year. The Sox attendance is
I mean, this year, yeah.
actually.
This year, yeah.
I will say something about another team. Is I've been following these Twitter reports about the Dodgers, because their announced attendance every night is like somewhere in like the 45,000 mark. But then when you actually see the crowd, there's nowhere near that. So the Dodgers are always at the top of the league in attendance, but like that actually can't be the case.
I don't think
And
it's the case.
got to be some other way of tracking the actual tickets scanned to get into the stadium for these
Oh,
teams.
I'm sure they
Like,
already have
really,
that data somewhere. They just don't release it.
it's annoying to me.
Yeah. But that sounds like something, that sounds like Dodgers fans in general.
Well, hey, listen, not to defend Dodgers fans too much, but I having been to that stadium and my father's from LA, like that is a trek to get to. And that is
Yeah.
why Dodgers fans leave early, not because they don't love the game, but because they want to beat the horrible traffic getting out of there.
I mean, there's only like one way in and one way out,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Basically.
I know, for all the criticisms the White Sox have about their ballpark not being in like this like trendy area with like lots of stuff around them. Dodger Stadium is like the most remote stadium like
Yeah.
in the league. But it's the Dodgers, so no one really complains about it, and it's LA, and that's just how it is in LA, I guess.
Right, right. Yeah, there aren't too many places, I guess, to put a ballpark. But yeah, I've never been there. I gotta go. Okay, so let's move on to MLB news. I have a few bullet points for this week. So this past week, Carl Ravitch of ESPN had his final broadcast after 30 plus years. Unfortunately, he was laid off by the network. Found out about it on social media, which I think is a really terrible thing to do to
How does this
someone.
keep happening? How does this keep happening for in tons of professions?
Because
Like,
I'm sure whoever is tipping off the media is getting paid to do it.
it's just heartbreaking,
Oh,
like,
I agree.
to see that.
Yeah, it really is. I think he deserved better. Credit to him for finishing out his schedule. He did the Little League World Series as well as the Little League Classic, MLB's game in Williamsport. So kudos to him. Wish him the best. Hopefully, we see him in a baseball related role again soon. I feel like he would be a good pickup for a lot of different networks. Maybe we see him in Netflix? Question mark. He'd be a good pickup there, I
I
think.
mean, Netflix needs to do many things to improve their MLB broadcast, and he would be a good get for them.
Yeah, he would be a good start. So good. We wish him the best in his next endeavor and hopefully see him again on a baseball diamond soon, or in the broadcast booth, I should say. Elsewhere around the league, the Astros fire their GM, Dana Brown, after 4 years. He had, some success. Won't say that his tenure was like completely a failure. But they do not have much in the farm system right now, and they are not good this season.
Well, I mean, and he has it the Astros owner Jim Crane is I mean, very similar to like a Jerry Reinsdorf situation, is known to be very involved with day-to-day baseball operations. So there were lots of reports that Dana Brown's hands were tied. For I mean, he wasn't allowed to hand out certain lengths of contracts to pitchers. They had to trade away people, and things like the Jose Abreu. That was when they were in between GMs. I think they had fired. I forget the previous GM's name, but it was before they hired Dana Brown. So that was Jim Crane, and I think Jeff Bagwell is very involved in the front office as well. So yeah, he'll probably get another baseball job, but I mean, yeah, that like there, I don't understand. It was 3 years ago to the day, a couple days ago, that Jerry Reinsdorf fired Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams. And that made total sense because it was a long time coming. They were in the midst of an awful season and changes needed to be made ASAP. The Astros are at 500 and are currently tied for first place in the AL West. And I don't know what the hell firing your GM right now, especially right before the waiver wire, I mean, it's weird. But Jim
It
Crane's a
is
weird
weird.
baseball owner.
Yeah, it is weird. It's odd timing for sure. Joe Espada, speaking of which, manager, not expected to be retained. But I don't believe that's official yet.
Well,
Um,
what I was reading is that he was essentially told he's not going to get a contract. He's welcome to finish out the season, but they would also understand if he left and he chose to stay. He was
mm,
also out, I guess, yesterday for a family emergency, but is back now. So
mm.
there might, who knows there. Joe Espada, I mean, he apparently turned down other managing jobs, including possibly the White Sox when they hired Pedro Grifol, because he wanted to be Dusty Baker's replacement. And his records has been pretty good in his 3 years managing. I did go on the Astros subreddit, and um, maybe it's probably also because they're used to a pretty decent amount of success for the last decade, but they seem to be pretty fed up with Espada. And also, when you're going to hire a new GM, you want the GM to be able to pick their own guy. So that makes total sense. I did hear the rumor that Crane might just make Jeff Bagwell the GM, and I guess Astros fans would really not want that to happen.
Oh
So,
God,
um,
that sounds like a Kenny Williams Rickon
I mean, that's
situation.
well, or yeah, look at this is Chris Getz now, so um, we'll see what happens. The Astros, listen, the cheating scandal was 8 years ago. They won a legitimate World Series in 22. Most of those players are gone. Um, you know, so they're not the villains anymore, but you also, you know, don't. I also don't really care about them. If that's guess is what I'm saying. So,
I could see, who I think might get traded if they need to go into full rebuild is Yordan Alvarez.
oh yeah, who may win AL MVP this year.
I mean, you
Um,
could get a lot for him.
if they want to fill their farm system back up, he would be a really good trade candidate. But it also depends if the new GM wants to enter a rebuilding phase or if they want to retool and go for it again because
Mhm.
they might make the playoffs this year. There has never been a losing team in the playoffs with a team with a losing record. They've come close a couple times. I think like the Padres in like the mid 2000s and even like um I forget what the Cardinals record was when they won the World Series in '06,
Oh,
but it was like,
they only had like 83 wins.
yeah. So like it's gotten close a couple of times, but like I think I don't know. That's just a reflection of the game itself. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be really interesting. But then it's baseball, so one of those teams is definitely going to win the World Series. It's just
Right.
going to happen.
Good. Oh my God, could you imagine a sub 500 team like wins the World Series?
It's going to be
Baseball would
it's going to
be
be like it's going to be the Mariners. Like it's going to be the Guardians or something. Like it's going to be ridiculous, and I'm going to hate it. But whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, seriously. We'll see what happens, but I could see that happening. Elsewhere around baseball, Giancarlo Stanton is out for the season after suffering an odd setback while running. It looks like he strained his other calf. So his injury woes continue. Is his Yankees career over?
So I was looking up his contract, and he is guaranteed 25 million next year, and then has a $10 million buy. Maybe they should. Maybe they should cut him loose. Did you catch that, Kevin?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's how do you how are you a professional athlete who has as much talent as Stanton and cannot stay healthy as a DH?
I think that's a problem. I mean, it's a shame because he's so close to 500 homers for his career, but like he may not get there because he can't stay on the field. Um, I think it is possible that his Yankees career is over. Um, I don't know who would want that contract, but maybe someone. I
No,
mean,
and
the Yankees might.
the Yankees have to, I mean, the Yankees are, again, perennial contenders. They they need money off the books. They need, guaranteed roster spots, and like I'm sure they're sick of, waiting for him, waiting to see if he's going to get healthy so that he can contribute. I mean, he has only 90 at bats this year with 3 home runs. Yeah, so he's up to 456 for his career. So yeah, I mean, if he played a couple more years at full health, he'd get to 500. Maybe he still will, but I just don't know if it's going to be with the
I
Yankees.
mean, one good season. Like he's one good season away from 500, basically. You there?
I'm here now. So yes, one
Okay.
good season away from 500.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We will see. So that'll do it for our notes around MLB. So let's turn to this week's baseball at the movies segment. This week, we are looking at the movie 61 with an asterisk. Released in 2001, it stars Barry Pepper as Roger Maris, Thomas Jane as Mickey Mantle, and Anthony Michael Hall as Whitey Ford. This is our first made-for-TV movie, appearing on HBO back in the day. It was also directed by Billy Crystal, who is an
I was
avid,
shocked when I saw that.
yeah, avid Yankees and baseball fan. So this was directed by him. A synopsis of the movie: aiming for one of the most famed records in sports history, a pair of very different baseball players hit home runs at an impressive rate. Roger Maris, Barry Pepper, a reserved sort, is much less popular than his hard-partying New York Yankee teammate Mickey Mantle, Thomas Jane. The player whom many observers think will be the one to challenge Babe Ruth's record of 60 home runs in one season. But in the summer of 1961, Maris surges ahead of Mantle, making a run at Ruth's mark. As we know as baseball fans, Roger Maris did break the record in more games than Babe Ruth did, which is why there is an asterisk next to it because it was the first year that they went from a 154 to a 162 game season. It did take him more than 154 games to get there, so that's why that explains the title. A fun fact about this movie: Yankee Stadium scenes were shot at a redressed Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, in August 2000. Infield seats at the stadium were painted green, and a partial third deck and 1961 Bronx skyline were added digitally in post-production. It has an 86% critic score and a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
So have you seen this movie before, Kevin?
I have, yes.
I have not. And so I watched it for the first time literally today. I loved it.
Yeah, it's
I
really
thought it
good,
was
right?
great.
Yeah.
I
I'm
I was
surprised
like,
you've never seen it.
I didn't even know it existed.
Okay.
Um and yeah, so I don't know, I started watching it and like knowing it was a made for TV movie, but it's HBO, so it's a high quality TV. Um and I just really I got hooked into it, with the beginning when they're, in 1998 with the McGuire and Sosa home run chase and then bringing it back at the end, and I just really enjoyed it. It's not like the greatest structured movie ever. It's just kind of telling the real life story. There's not a ton of like dramatic moments to make it like a movie. Maybe like the fight, like the little argument between Maris and Mantle, like 2/3 of the way through the movie and stuff. And I have no idea if something like the someone calling to threaten to kidnap his kids happened or anything like that.
I think that did happen actually.
but I thought it was of this.
Good.
Yeah. So what's your impression of this? Like, have you always liked this movie?
Yeah, I think it's good. Like you said, like for its made for TV movie, it's good because it's HBO, but it's not like a fantastic movie, but like it's good. It's worth watching. I like how it's very real and it sticks to like what actually happened and kind of avoids more of like the fluff. Um, yeah, it's an interesting story because like Roger Maris, when you look at his career, like the 1961 was like the best season of his career. He was a very average player outside of that season, but yet he's a Hall of Famer because of
Actually,
that.
he's not. That's
Or
what I
he's
was looking up.
not. Oh
He has
yeah, that's
not
right.
been
He's
elected to
not.
the Hall of Fame. It's funny because like even just the fact that it's an incredible true story, but it was a TV movie, and like if Mickey Mantle would have done it, it probably would have been a big theatrical movie, and I think that's just kind of like all the symbolism you need. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to imagine like this, a record being broken by just I don't know. It's like not the greatest example because I mean at least Roger Maris won MVP the previous year and was a better player than this, but like it's almost like Philip Umber tossing a perfect game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just
Still can't
some
believe that happened.
random dude.
Literally.
Um, yeah, and like doing this thing that's kind of just legendary and like mythical almost.
That's kind of what it feels like with Cal Raleigh, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Um,
he hit 60 home runs last season and he is having a really horrible year this year. Um, so that's kind of what it feels. And like I think what like people struggle to like conceptualize today is, this was like the news. This was like a big deal in 1961 because I mean baseball's still big, but like baseball was like huge back then, I feel like in terms of like its popularity, where like it was more popular than football at that point.
Absolutely.
Um so like this like Babe Ruth's record being broken, I mean it was a big deal in 1998
Right.
when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire did it. Like I know you and I remember, I mean, it was everywhere. Like you couldn't turn on the news or Sports Center or anything without hearing about it. So I think they do it justice by like, by really just like staying to how true it was and they do a good job of you know, of conveying like how big of a deal it was back then.
Yeah. I mean, and
Uh,
people's passion for it. I mean, I can't imagine a guy who is a great player and won MVP and everything and is chasing this record literally getting booed at your home stadium because they want the other guy to get it, who is, a true Yankee, as I keep kind of saying. It was just
mhm.
fascinating because, like, I knew the story, but seeing it played out, like, in that way was just really kind of eye opening. Because, yeah, Roger Maris has always kind of been a footnote because, like, everyone talks about Mickey Mantle still. Everyone talks about all the Yankee greats, Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, obviously Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, but like Maris, yeah, like it was just really I really appreciated this story in this movie. Also, I don't know if you've seen pictures of Roger Maris. Barry Pepper looks so much like him. Incredible casting.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like
I mean,
scary.
like like really incredible. Like Thomas Jane looked kind of like Mickey Mantle. That's fine. They both gave great performances. I like looked up a picture of Roger Maris and like I thought it was that must be from the movie. No, it was it was him. So very well done, Billy Crystal and the casting director and all that. Yeah, I really dug it. I like want to watch it again at some point. And I love the way they brought it back. Like I love when Maris is breaking the record. And of course, like you have like the commissioner and Babe Ruth's widow like rooting against him. And when he eventually breaks the record, like Maris's wife is sitting next to Babe Ruth's wife, and like you can just tell she's like not rooting for him and kind of being a little standoffish. And then I love the scene at the end where you see McGuire break the record and he's like hugging Roger Maris's kids. You have Sammy Sosa coming up and giving him a hug because they had that kind of kinship that Maris and Maris had. It was just really well done. So yeah, I'm giving this like 4.5 beefs.
And I think you can tell that it was directed by a true baseball fan, which Billy Crystal
yeah,
is.
yeah. So I kind of I was making myself like, so it showed a lot of restraint there, which is nice. But yeah, I'm at 4.5 beefs and with some jardinera. I really loved it.
Nice, for sure. Yeah, I would second that review. I'd probably give it like a 4.5 beefs too. I wouldn't put it like at the S tier, so to speak, but it's like
Yeah.
right there. It's right below it. Um, so four and a
Yeah,
half sounds good.
that was a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned next week for our baseball at the movie segment as we will be profiling Bull Durham, the final of Kevin Costner's baseball movies that we still haven't gotten to yet. So stay tuned for that on next week's episode. But that will do it for this episode of the Crosstown Baseball Podcast. We will be back with our usual format next week, where we profile the Cubs and the White Sox and the rest of MLB and our baseball at the movie segment. So feel free to give us a follow, like, subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. Also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Crosstown Baseball Podcast. From Matt, he's Kevin, and remember, go Cubs.
Sure, Kevin. Go Sox.